Sarah Borgson-Keto, and in conjunction with REIT's REIT Week 2020 Virtual Investor Conference, I'm joined today by video link with Bill Meaney, President and CEO of Iron Mountain. Bill, thank you for joining me today.
No, it's great to be here.
Bill, how has the coronavirus crisis been impacting your various core businesses in different ways?
Well, first and foremost is that we've had to really take a hard look at all our safety procedures because our first priority is making sure our mountaineers or our associates around the globe are protected, and then also, of course, their families, given the nature of the pandemic, and then our customers and the communities more broadly. And we are considered an essential business in most jurisdictions where we operate. So as we sit here today, about 96% of our facilities are operating around the globe. So we had to really take a very hard look, and I'm happy to say that, whilst one person is too many to be impacted by the virus, we've been able to keep the impact pretty low. I mean, still a few people have been impacted, but it's so far manageable.
What are some of the ways in which Iron Mountain has had to go beyond its normal course of business in order to remain resilient?
Well, I think that, as I said, that we are considered an essential service in a lot of jurisdictions, especially, the nature of the customers. Healthcare is a big vertical for us. Financial services is a big vertical, legal, et cetera. So the nature of serving those customers in some cases is pretty traditional. In other cases where there's a large work from home population, then we've had to actually rely on some of the R&D that we've done over the past years to be able to serve them in that way. So for instance, image on demand, which is effectively a scanning service, but combined with our artificial intelligence platform called Insight, allows us to be able to securely allow people to operate from home and to collaborate on those. So for example, is a state here in the US who was trying to manage their unemployment benefits, and their workers were at home. And so we were able to get a hold of those applications into our facilities, digitize them, distribute them securely to a number of their inspectors or adjudicators in different locations so that they could both collaborate on the document and then approve it so that people could get their checks in a timely fashion. That's just one example that we've been able to serve our customers. In other cases, they have called upon us to do slightly different services. Obviously the backbone of our traditional part of our business is a large logistics network, which is highly secure and highly vetted. So we've had a number of healthcare customers who have asked us to actually store and assemble kits associated with PPE and other medical equipment so that they could free up space in their facilities to treat patients, but at the same time they could stockpile different equipment or medicines, whatever that they needed to make sure that they could be dispatched in a timely fashion when they needed it. So, that's, whilst it's in the latter case is a fairly unusual circumstance for us, is that it relies on the backbone of our operations to execute.
And are there new revenue streams that could emerge out of the current environment?
Yes, I should take a step back, is that in our current environment is, 75% of our service revenue comes from what I would call our hard copy or records management business and shred business. And that's been impacted by 40 to 50% because obviously when people are working from home they don't need to be served in the office as frequently as they were before. But some of these services that I mentioned that included the image on demand with our artificial intelligence platform called Insight, on just helping employees work in a more distributed fashion. Our expectation, whilst there will be people that will come back into the office, we think a number of people will, or companies will continue to use this hybrid model because I think they find the productivity is actually quite good. So I think services like that, I think we expect will continue to grow. The other thing is that, as you probably might recall, is that we launched our Insight program or platform about a year and a half ago or so. And last year, I guess it was 2018, we were the Artificial Intelligence Partner of the Year for Google. And I think now that people are really finding they're using it in a way that they didn't expect is we're seeing actually an increase in the pipeline for using that platform going forward. So we also think some of our newer services has been a great way to as an advertisement for that. And then, of course, if you look at the other 25% of our service revenue, which is associated with our data center business, the data center business itself has been extremely robust during this period, and it's continuing to meet or exceed our expectations.
How has Iron Mountain responded to the discovery of possible breaches of US sanctions on Iran by one of its foreign subsidiaries?
Well, yeah, you can probably imagine that we're in discussions with the U.S. government on that. We actually self-disclosed. It was something that we found through an audit. These were in a couple of cases where were customers that we were serving before they were put on a sanctions list. So these are, this is regrettable that we need to somehow, we will in the future automate our auditing of that, because these lists change in real time. These are very small customers, I should say, so that and we're already in the process of ending those contracts. So it's fairly minimal in terms of any financial impact, or it's very, very small customers. But and we did this self-disclose, but in the future we want to make sure that we can automate the scanning or screening of these lists in real time, so that we don't get caught in a lag when these lists actually move or change. So again, it's one of these things that we need to get better and more automated at, but we did self-disclose to the regulatory authorities in this case.
Bill, thanks for joining me today.
Take care, and it's great to see you. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. And for more on REITs, unlisted real estate, be sure to visit NAREIT's website, REIT.com.